Hey guys, this is Anastasia, and this is this week's video for the YouTube Pagan Challenge. I forget what week we're on, but I'm sure I'll label the video correctly, so there it is. This week's subject is all about initiation. I myself have not gone through an initiation of any kind. The closest I've come is a dedication that I put myself through for Kernunos as my patron and Hel as my matron. I'm sure a dedication to a deity, to a spirit, to an energy, what have you, can be an initiation. For me, an initiation is when something is put forth to you from another source. So if I was to take my dedication ritual as an initiation of any sort, it would have had to have been downloaded by Hel or Kernunos or some other energy source. That is just my opinion on what an initiation is, being put forth by another source. By no means is that, if you view a self-dedication as an initiation, then it is. It's just what I've come to identify with and acknowledge. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm right and anyone else is wrong, because I don't think it works that way. And certainly further on down my path, I could think of something completely different, because the more you awaken, the more you find out things and how you thought this worked. You go, oh wait, no, that doesn't work that way. So, but for me at this point in my life experience, as of right now, that's what it is. Oftentimes we hear about initiation when it comes to working with groups, so it echoes very much to last week's subject of group ritual and group workings. And I think for me personally, to be initiated is a huge, huge undertaking. Because just like with the group ritual, you're opening yourself up so much. You're trusting people, for some people more so than your family. I know for me it would be. If I were to be initiated into a group, these are people that know me more than anybody else, I would think, to a certain degree. And especially when you get really in depth with a group, which I think if you're being initiated, you do open up a lot of old wounds and a lot of scars, because you're getting to know each other, and you have to know each other to a certain degree. At least I would. For me, I would want, if I was going to be initiated into a group, into a coven, into a grove, what have you, I would want them to know every idiosyncrasy. Like, hey, for example, this past weekend, I was with a group of people, and we were chatting about initiation and other things. And on a couple of political subjects, I kind of went off, because I'm very impassioned about them and get fired up about them, and realized I probably wasn't making myself very clear, or it sounded odd, or I came across in ways that I perhaps didn't want to. And I mean, this was Saturday, and I'm still sitting here going, oh my gosh, I can't imagine what they think of me. I can't imagine how I came across. I can't imagine, it again jumps to judgment. I get worried about that. So if I were to be asked to join a group and be initiated into them, I would want them to know, hey, there are times I'm not very eloquent, and I worry that will leave you with a bad taste in your mouth about me. Or there are times I might not get things the way you mean them. I might not understand things the way you mean them. If I say something stupid or off color, please let me know. At a certain point, I have no filter, so that gets me in trouble. But yeah, so it turns into those issues for me. So I would imagine if I were to go through an initiation, which I'm certainly open to, I would think, I would be it would be, again, going back to that double-edged sword, it would be something that would be incredibly and amazingly rewarding, but terrifying at the same time, because I'm pushing myself and putting myself out there and doing things that I never thought I would do. To that end, I think initiation is an insanely, like, at its base, initiation of any kind has to be insanely transformative. Because it's such a huge part of you. It's such a dedicating yourself to your path, dedicating yourself to your deities or to your spirit guides or to yourself is such a huge thing. But to be initiated into a group where you're going to experience mysteries, where you are going to experience the unknown. That's what mysteries are. They're not known. And you're going to experience them with this group of people or with this other person. Or if it is something that's downloaded to you from another energy source, like a god or goddess or spirit guide or whatever, with that energy source. Like, this is something so huge. And you do transform, I think, while preparing for an initiation, because there's a huge amount of research and education that goes into it. I was kind of laughing when I was thinking about the subject and kind of going over in my car on my way to work today what I wanted to say. And last year, I had it in my head, this is my year of being a seeker. I'm going to learn, I'm going to educate, I'm going to educate myself, I'm going to research. And then when this year came, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be done with that side, because I'm never done with that side because I'm a nerd. But this year, I'm really going to focus on transformation. And it was extremely naive, I think, for me to sit there and say, okay, that was about education, now it's about transformation, because they're one and the same. The more you learn, the more you educate yourself, the more you study. Even if you study something and later go, I don't resonate with that, but you still studied, you still learned it. And suddenly you'll find priorities shifting. What was important to you no longer is. What relationships worked for you, whether it be romantic, be it friendship, be it family, you might look at later and go, this really isn't healthy. This really isn't what I want. This really isn't helping me grow. And you do leave people to the wayside, or you do leave certain aspects of them to the wayside. You don't let yourself get pulled in by certain drama. You learn to pick your battles because it's no longer important to you. Like, you can believe whatever you want of me. I'm obviously not at that point yet, because judgment is such a huge issue for me. But certain things I have been able to let go of, and I have been able to identify that it really isn't conducive for me. And so I think with initiation, where someone else is putting forth all these tasks or learning, or you have to open yourself up spiritually, emotionally, and sometimes physically, and by doing that, you are going to transform. You are going to see so much change because you're being put through that rigorous course. So yeah, I'm sorry it's going to be kind of a shorter video this week, because I really don't know much. I haven't experienced it, but those are my initial thoughts about initiation. It should be an incredibly difficult but rewarding experience. So with that, I will leave this video. Blessed be. Bye, guys.